Have you ever noticed that the strongest people usually have the darkest stories? Not because they wanted pain, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because suffering changed them. It forced them to become someone else, someone stronger, someone harder to break, someone impossible to stop. And that's exactly what happened to Mike Tyson. People see the champion. People see the knockouts. People see the belts. People see the fame. But they never see the darkness. The darkness that built him. The darkness that shaped him. The darkness that made him dangerous. Because champions are not created when life is easy. Champions are created when life becomes unbearable, when everything hurts, when nobody believes in you, when every reason tells you to quit, and yet you keep moving forward. Most people think greatness is about talent. It's not. Talent is common. Potential is common. Dreams are common. What is rare is discipline, the ability to keep going. When you don't feel like it, the ability to keep fighting. When nobody is watching, the ability to keep believing. When every result says you should stop. Mike Tyson learned that lesson early, very early, before the world knew his name, before the crowds, before the money, before the glory. There was fear. There was struggle. There was pain. A young kid growing up in Brooklyn, surrounded by violence, surrounded by chaos, surrounded by people who expected nothing from him. The world had already decided who he was supposed to become. Another statistic, another failure, another forgotten story. But Tyson made a different decision. He refused to accept the future that was given to him. And that's where everything changed. Because every person reaches that moment when life tests them. The moment when pain knocks on the door. The moment when things fall apart. The moment when nobody comes to save you. And in that moment, you discover who you really are. Not when you're winning. Not when life is comfortable. Not when everything is working. You discover who you are when everything is against you. That's where champions are born. In the darkness. The truth is, most people spend their lives running from pain. They distract themselves. They scroll endlessly. They waste time. They make excuses. Anything to avoid discomfort, anything to avoid facing themselves. But pain is not always your enemy. Sometimes pain is your teacher. Sometimes pain is your trainer. Sometimes pain is preparing you for a future you can't see yet. Mike Tyson understood this. Every brutal workout, every early morning, every exhausting training session, every sacrifice, every lonely moment, he knew something most people never learn. Pain can either destroy you or transform you. The choice is yours. Think about that. Every successful person you've ever admired went through darkness. Every champion, every leader, every legend, at some point, they wanted to quit. At some point, they doubted themselves. At some point, they felt exhausted. The difference is they didn't stop while others gave up. They continued while others complained. They worked while others waited. They acted. And that is why they became extraordinary. Mike Tyson once said, "Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it." Read that again. Think about it. Because that's the secret. Not motivation, not talent, not luck. Discipline, the ability to act. Even when you don't feel like acting, the ability to push forward when every part of you wants to quit. Anyone can be motivated for one day. Anyone can be excited for 1 week. But can you stay disciplined for years? Can you keep going when nobody notices? Can you keep going when nobody applauds? Can you keep going when progress is invisible? That is the real test. That is where champions separate themselves from everyone else. And then comes the biggest battle of all. The battle inside your own mind. Because your greatest enemy isn't another person, it isn't your circumstances, it isn't your past. It's the voice in your head. The voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're too late. You're too weak. You're going to fail." That voice destroys dreams every day, not because it's powerful, but because people believe it. They listen to it. They obey it. And slowly, they surrender. But champions do something different. They hear the voice and keep moving anyway. They feel fear and move anyway. They feel doubt and move anyway. They feel pain and move anyway. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. Imagine Tyson before a fight. The lights, the crowd, the pressure, millions watching. Do you think he felt no fear? Of course he did. Fear is human. Fear is normal. But he refused to let fear control him. And that's the lesson. You don't have to eliminate fear. You have to move through it. Because on the other side of fear is growth. On the other side of fear is strength. On the other side of fear is the life you've always wanted. Right now, someone is quitting. Someone is giving up on their dream. Someone is surrendering to their excuses. Don't be that person. Not today. Not after everything you've survived. Think about how far you've already come. Think about every battle you've already won. Think about every difficult day you survived. You're still here. You're still standing. You're still fighting. That means something. That means there is more inside you than you realize. Maybe life feels heavy right now. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're walking through one of the darkest chapters of your life. Good, because darkness has a purpose.